I don't know if anybody else is in the same boat as me, but I am sick and tired of being ruled over by monsters. These politicians, they aren't politicians that I value. They are, I actually know politicians. I call some of these politicians friends. And you know what? I know how crooked they are. I know how backwards they actually are. And I don't trust any of them. We are ruled over by career politicians that go into politics not to help the people, not to improve the country. They go into it for power and money. And when does it become enough? When when we have more rules in place today in British society than the Germans did in 1942. You know, they were ruled over pretty heavily by Hitler. I mean, he abolished all other political parties, and only had his own party that ruled over Germany and became what it was. And look at what it did become. And we today live under like more rules than they did back then. We have more laws. We have more fascist laws today than what they did back then. And we might think that we live in a free society and that we are, you know, like the pinnacle of civilization, but we are not. Look at what we've done to the world. Look at what our politicians have done to the world, sending our military, who don't have a choice. They have to follow their orders, or they lose their pension, they lose the money that they've saved up for them. They've got them by the balls. What this is what happens when you join the military. Because I was in the military, so I know, right? They put money away for you each month out of your wages. They put money away and they squirrel it away, right? And then when you leave, you get a big lump sum of money to go and start a new life. And also, when you leave, you get like a pension and whatnot. You get a pension pot. Like that's a lot better than state pension. Put it that way, right? So, but you lose all of that if you refuse to go to war for these inhumane monsters that we have ruling over us today. Look at what they did in Iraq and Afghanistan. Look at what they did in Syria and Libya. Look at what they did in all of these countries that we had nothing to do with them. Like why should we poke our nose in to a society that has nothing to do with us? The Afghan. If you go into Afghanistan and you ask 99% of the people over there why we were actually there, they don't know. They don't even know why we were there killing them. We killed over 1 million Iraqis over some weapons of mass destruction that never existed, just because we wanted to steal their oil. How are we any better than what Germany was back in 1942? How are we any better than that? Look at what they did to people back then, and look at what we are doing to people today. Are we really going to sit in our little societies and vote these idiots in? I mean, look at what we've done to this world. Are we really so naive and so caught up in our own little lives that we can't get rid of these monsters that are in our parliaments? We vote them in. There's four top parties in Scotland. You've got the Tory parties, the Tory party, you've got the Labour Party, you've got the SNP. I won't go into that. And you've got the Lib Dems. You've got four top parties that rule in this country. And obviously we've got SNP seats in Westminster as well, because we're part of the UK. But I mean, how many times are we going to be lied to? How many times are we going to be ripped off? How many people are we going to leave living in poverty in our own country before we do something about this? What does it take for people to wake up? What does it, how are we going to change this? I mean, I have a clear strategy of how to change it. Vote in independents. Vote in independent parties. Independent representation and all whatnot. If you got a whole parliament full of independents, you instill democracy overnight. But nobody will do it. We keep voting for these same parties all the time, and all these sheep that keep doing it to us. They're idiots. Can you not see what's happening in this country? Can you not see what's happening to us? Are we really so blind to what is going on? Are we really going to allow our government to send our military that is there to defend us halfway around the world to go and kill innocent people and then just think it's okay? Oh, yeah, it's okay, it's fine. We'll just trust them. Trust them. They're monsters. They're monsters. When are people going to wake up? When are people going to wake up and realize that we don't live in a free society anymore? None of us are free. Even our speech is ruled over by the utilitarian, authoritarian government. All they care about is money, greed, and resources, and getting what they can out of the system. We're blind to everything that's going on, and it's sickening.